Hello and welcome to another episode of Weddings Uncovered. And this week, I'm actually catching up with a supplier who got married during the pandemic. So let's catch up with Neha from the Wedding Touch and see what she has to say. So, hi Neha, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Very well, and super excited to have you here because I know we've been trying to get you on for a while, but you've been a busy lady because you recently just got married. So I completely get that. So first of all, I mean, for anyone that's not quite aware of who you are or what you do you want to just quickly explain a bit more about yourself?
Absolutely. So we do wedding decor. We specialize in Asian weddings. So we do everything from mandaps to receptions to stages, etc. We do a lot of silk flowers. We work with fresh as well. And we really try to work on getting the garden, boho kind of theme right. So floral mandaps, rustic style mandaps. We just love it all. So do check us out as well if you want.
I
Yeah.
love that. So I have stalked your Instagram continuously, and I have to say you are a lady after my own heart because that style you've described is completely my style. A lot of my clients come to me for that kind of look, so I think actually we are probably a match made in heaven. So at some point,
I'm
I
so
look forward.
excited to work with
Yeah.
you. I love your energy. So I'm really excited because I think it's so important that when clients or couples are choosing their suppliers, that the energy matches, they get the vibe, and that they trust that that supplier is going to provide what they want. And just if the suppliers get on with each other really well as well, it just makes such a difference to the final outcome, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. So, I mean, tell me, how did you get into this industry? Like, how did you find this work and how did you launch the company?
So I tend to do things on a whim. I don't know if that's a creative side of me or what. I don't know. I used to actually work in the city as a bond trader, and I did that for 6 years. And then, but finance was just never my passion by any means whatsoever. So I did an interior design degree on the side while I was working in the city.
Wow.
And my mom and I have always enjoyed interiors and, like just making things look pretty and helping our friends at weddings when they're doing their decor, just small little things here and there. And I think I had a break in my career and I just felt it's now or never. And it just started becoming such a big passion of mine that I just really wanted to give it a go, because I literally feel like I breathe decor sometimes. Like it's in my dreams, it's in my like every moment. I'm just totaling for like more inspiration. So it's definitely a passion, that's for sure.
I love that. And honestly, when you talk, I feel like that passion comes through. And I think that's so important because it's nice to see people loving what they do. And clearly you do. I mean, it's a complete contrast to what you used to do before. But you know what? I mean, a lot of people in the industry, I feel, just have that natural progression. They've gone from something like, and they've come here and suddenly they love it and they're just here to stay, which is just the way I feel. So it's great to hear that. So how is it all going for you? I mean, what has the experience been like of working in the wedding industry?
Um, to be honest, it's been really nice. I mean, I think I'd heard horror stories or I heard things about maybe suppliers or clients, but touch wood, we've genuinely had incredible couples, and some of them have become really good friends now, actually, because you end up speaking to them so much, and with so much back and forth discussion of, oh, should we do this? Should we do this? Oh, should we add this on or should we change this? And sometimes it's like, my mum-in-law won't agree to this. How do we convince her? So there's a lot of conversation. Sometimes a whole year before they would obviously book
Yeah.
us, and we'd be planning. So it's been a really nice. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's so many challenges, and I did not realize the challenges with the deco company before I started. So the hours sometimes are terrible, and the late night pack ups when we're packing up at 3 4 in the morning is not the easiest thing in the world. But I think my whole team feels that like once we set up, it's that feeling of putting something like incredible together for the client. When you see like the bride walk in, or you see her reaction, or the messages that you get afterwards, that you've really like done something real and you've made someone's day that much more special, um is really really amazing. So yeah, no, it's touch with it's been incredible. And like I love meeting new suppliers, and I'm so glad that we got to connect, because people like working with people like you is so much fun. It's just, yeah, it's a really lovely industry.
Yeah, I
from
mean,
what I've seen.
well, that's wonderful to hear. And actually, I think I've had a similar experience. People have just been so like welcoming and
Yeah.
warm, and I feel like people are here because they genuinely love it. And when you feel that way, actually, that warmth is then passed on to the clients, and that's exactly how it should be. So as you know, Weddings Uncovered is all about speaking to suppliers and their own wedding journey. And I'm really, really excited to have you on, because I feel that of everyone I've spoken to so far, your wedding journey is perhaps the most current, because you've only recently got married. So how was all of that? And first of all, I mean, congratulations. But what was that experience like for you?
Um, so I'm not gonna lie, I broke down like crazy, because any bride planning in COVID, I feel for you, because I genuinely have been there as well. And that's why I feel like I'm very sympathetic or empathetic. I try to be anyways with my brides, because I completely understand the crappiness that it is. So I think we must have changed our plan 7, 8 times during we were always planning on getting married in October. But I think when COVID first hit, I was having these conversations with my brides for April and May weddings, that tough conversation of we're gonna have to postpone, etc. But I never thought it would happen to me. I thought, oh, by October things will be fine, no worries.
Yeah.
And then in the summer we realized obviously that's not the case. So we changed it from 300 to 100 to 50 to 30 to eventually we had 15 people at the wedding. But I think there are just a lot of brides out there like me who just feel we just want to get on with our lives. I think a lot of brides are doing a civil so that they can just move in together and start their life, and then they'll worry about the Hindu later. My dad was a little bit more traditional, so he didn't want me just to have the civil, so that's why we had to have the Hindu wedding to kind of get on with our lives. But honestly, when you look back at it, it just worked out so perfectly. There were a few things that I felt really made a difference. So things that I would really suggest doing is definitely do some sort of Zoom. We bought this program called Event Live, I think it was called, which worked amazingly well. And my brother just made sure that he angled it correctly, the tripod at different times. He added a bit of fun commentary for the people watching. And we created a WhatsApp group with a lot of our friends and family. So for the next 3-4 days, we had messages pouring in nonstop, like so much love. And so many people said that we felt like we were there with you guys.
Oh, that's lovely.
They got a better view this way, sitting on their couch, than they would have had they been in a hall, 25 rows at the back. Exactly, because the camera was obviously right at the front. We had 2 of my friends and 2 of his friends there. And it just felt so intimate, but so beautiful. It was so relaxed. We were on the mandap joking around with the priest. We were joking around with our friends while the ceremony was going on. It was just such a sweet atmosphere, such a fun atmosphere. Everyone gelled really well. Very relaxed day. We got a lot of time for photos, which I felt was so important, because I felt no one's going to be there. They're going to see my wedding through the photos and through the videos. So for me, that was really important. So yeah, that worked out really well. But I'm not going to lie, the planning before that was awful, because I think it's very hard for people to know what venue, because sometimes the numbers dictate what kind of venue you're going to do. Whether home weddings will be allowed or not allowed. So can you have a marquee in the garden, which was my initial plan, to have a glass marquee, and then we had to change that because they had to be a COVID secure venue. So also the details, for me the details were really important, and I found it very hard to order the details. So stationery, I wanted personalized things on the chairs for people. We had a sit down meal afterwards. I wanted personalized menus. I wanted these favor cookies that I got made of a bride and groom. So things like that was quite difficult just to plan for. So I completely understand. But what I did was I booked all my main supplies, like the priest, and obviously we were doing the decor. We booked all that in advance, and I kind of knew what we were going to do. So it wasn't once your big stuff is sorted, then it's just a case of the smaller details that you need to plan closer to the time, I feel.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always say with clients, just book your suppliers, because actually in a year's time, you are completely going to change your mind about what you want. It will probably be similar, but
so
you see so much inspiration around you. You're going to events, you know, there's a whole set of new trends online on Pinterest and Instagram. So actually you do tend to change. So I'm like, let's just get them booked if you like them. And then actually let's sort out the finer details. And it sounds like you kind of had to do that anyway, because obviously you decided these suppliers, but what was going to happen, you don't know, because what you probably imagined your wedding was going to be ended up being completely different. But obviously no regrets from you. You're glad you kind of just went ahead with those small numbers.
And it's weird because we used to do a lot of weddings pre-COVID where there was the Hindu wedding, the civil, and the reception all in one day. So I was telling my family, yeah, it's done so often. Everyone does it. It's great. We can do that. But being a bride, oh my God, I'm so glad we didn't have it on the same day. And this is what I really suggest to other people as well, that there's such a silver lining, because you're going to enjoy your reception so much when it comes, because you'll be so relaxed. It'll just be like a really big fun party for everyone. Whereas having to do, for some reason with the Hindu wedding, there just is that added bit of stress. And I don't know what it is, because we don't really understand what's going on in the ceremony and the timings and this. We try and fit so much in the day that like you're exhausted. So you're spending so much money on a reception and you're not really going to enjoy it. Like you will probably be high on adrenaline, but you're not going to like enjoy it as much. I mean, my wedding and dinner finished at 7 p.m. and I was knackered. I was so shattered. And I think we both slept for 3 weeks afterwards because we were knackered. But there definitely is a silver lining of having a smaller, intimate, either civil or Hindu wedding now, and then having a big party bash next year or the year afterwards. And I joke that I was like, if I even do get pregnant, so what? Who cares now? It's not like a taboo that, oh, there's an issue. Just it's just a lot more relaxed, and people are trying to be more creative with how they do their wedding events.
No, I love that. And you know what? You get 2 or 3 celebrations out of it. So why not? The more you can celebrate, the better it is, right?
It's something to look forward to, that, oh, in a year's time or in 2 years' time, we'll have like a really fun celebration with all our friends and families. So
exactly. So you touched upon the fact that you obviously did the styling yourself. And I really want to understand a bit more about this. So first of all, was it more stressful styling your own wedding or not so much?
No. In the sense that I'd been looking for ideas for like the last year, and I kind of had a completely different vision in mind for what the original plan was and the original venue was. And then about 2 months before the wedding, when everything changed, then I just thought of a new idea. The only reason it was stressful was because we weren't sure how it was going to happen and where it was going to happen. And for me, the kind of decor I'd planned in my head, it needed a big space. It needed high ceilings. And, you know, doing decor, you realize that if you had to do it in the house, or if you had to do it in a smaller venue or something that's not as nice as what you'd initially imagine, it makes a difference. It makes a difference to the photos. The lighting makes a difference. For me, that was the stressful thing of not knowing which venue we're going with.
No, completely understand. And I mean, I've seen your images. It looked absolutely beautiful. Was there a particular like place that you got your inspiration from, or was it actually just having a look at socials or designers or something like that?
I literally just troll through all the time through Instagram for like inspiration on Pinterest, and like I just save a bank of like, you know, different photos, and then we try, and I often show that to my brides as well, and we try and pick out maybe like, oh, we like the color scheme from here, or I like the style that they've done on this arch, etc. But yeah, no, there was nothing in particular. The color scheme actually was a big thing for me, because I was initially planning to wear red, so I had a completely different idea in mind. And then, so we've actually decided something a bit different. So we said we'll do a very small intimate Hindu wedding now, but we're going to do an express kind of style wedding just before the reception. And that's because like he's Punjabi, I'm Punjabi, and you know, for them it's a lot of singing and dancing and you know, a lot of noise. And I think there's an element that, you know, we just wanted to have fun. We didn't get that expected. So the Bharat was like such a big part of the wedding. So we want to do all the things that we didn't get to do. We want to kind of do it again. So we're kind of like going to renew the vows. So we said we'd keep the red wedding dress for then. And then that's why I said, okay, well, I'll wear pastel pink. And then when I said I'll wear pink, then I started thinking of the decor, what goes with that. And then that's how it kind of came about.
Brilliant. So let's kind of have a quick chat about your favorite wedding moment, because I always love to ask. So if we go back to the day, and I know there are going to be so many beautiful ones for you, especially because it was so intimate and so special. But if you had to pinpoint that one key moment that, you know, when you look back, you just think, oh yeah, that was it. Like, what would it be for you?
Oh my God, that's so difficult to, and I'm not going to lie, because as a decor person, I'm a big perfectionist.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got to the hotel, the first thing I did was, instead of going to the room and start getting ready, I went to go see the team and see how they were setting up, etc.
I love that.
Like, not barking orders, but I was so stressed. I was like, guys,
Yeah.
this is not done, this is not done, this is not done yet. And every half an hour was literally, I mean, Roshni was probably getting really irritated with me, my makeup artist, because I kept running back to see the decor.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think there's a particular moment as such. I think what was really, really sweet is the fact that I was very nervous at the start, and not because I was getting married, more because I wanted every little flower to be perfect.
Yeah.
And I remember when we came and we were taking photos in the room before the ceremony, it was just me and my other half. And I think I saw it was, I think the cookies were put in the wrong order on the chairs or something. And he just saw my face, and bless him, he was like, I'll take care of it, don't worry. And then he just went and like sorted it all out. He was like, please don't stress about this kind of thing, which I thought was really cute, because I know I was being such a diva at the time.
I don't think that's diva-esque at all. I think you are a perfectionist. It's your job to have things looking so beautiful. So obviously, you know, on your own day, you're going to want that.
But what I really strongly recommend to people is that if you are getting married and if you are a taller perfectionist, please hire a wedding planner. It doesn't matter if it's only 15 people. There's certain things, like if I'd hired a professional wedding planner, then I don't think I would have been so stressed on the day. And an on the day quantity makes such a difference. So
yeah, I mean, I agree, and I just want to say I did not pay her to say that at all. But yes, it's so true, and this is a classic example.
Yeah.
But you work in the industry, so you know you still at least have a bit more knowledge. I think for somebody who just does not come from the industry, like for them to kind of try and manage that is so hard, and that's exactly what we do. Just take away that stress on the day.
Completely. And I mean, I kept thinking, oh, I can do it because I understand and I work with planners all the time. So we know the itinerary sheets, etc.
Yeah.
So I made the 10-page itinerary sheet
Yeah.
for a 15-person wedding. And we still made it. And but then, like small things like a certain uplighter was moved on the day. And knowing me, that's the thing that I was thinking about during the ceremony, that, oh, we need to turn them back on and those kind of things. And if you have a planner, then they do take away all that
Absolutely.
stress.
So, I mean, aside from COVID, were there any like major challenges that you came across when you were planning, or actually was it quite smooth sailing after you figured out what you wanted?
I think personally for me, it was quite smooth sailing. And I think once you book the suppliers, then your stress kind of is almost over in that sense. Obviously, yes, there's all the little details that go into a Hindu wedding, which you only realize over time. But I think a lot of people now are putting out guides out there to help you with the little details. But yeah, once you get the venue, your priest, your decor, your makeup, maybe music, those kind of things, then you're kind of sorted almost. Like I feel like the tension is off as a client. And I just honestly, I went with people that either I worked with before or I just really gelled with. I knew them, I knew their style of working, I knew their work. So all the suppliers that I'd initially chosen were people that we both just genuinely really liked as people. And for me, that was the most important thing.
I love that. And that really is. And that leads on very nicely to my next question, which is, if you had to offer brides and grooms a bit of advice, what would you say to them?
Look, I'd say that hopefully you only get married once, right? And even if it's just a 15-person wedding, because I constantly felt like, am I going over the top here? I really wanted to get these really nice chairs. And I was like, it's 15 people and delivery charges are so expensive. Is it even worth it? But you know what? Like, this is your chance to get your Pinterest wedding, because you're not spending on 400 people for the venue, for the catering, that you have a bit more budget to spend on the little details. And they do count, because now when we look back at our photos, it just gives us so much happiness to like, oh, we had this and we had this,
Yeah.
and it's so beautiful. So please don't feel like you're being a diva, or like you're going over the top for a 15-person wedding. Yes, hopefully you will manage to save some money, and that can be used in your house, or
Yeah.
in your journey together. But you look, if there's certain things that are important to you, go for it. Whether it's an outfit that you really wanted, or it's a particular photographer that you really wanted, like your photos and video is what's going to stay with you forever. So don't skimp on that. Like for me, obviously it was deco. I really wanted to deco, and I went all out still, even though it was just a few of us.
As
Yeah.
you should, by the way, absolutely. Don't have to explain that at all. But that was really sound advice. And before I let you go, how can people get in touch with you if they'd like to learn a bit more about your services?
Of course. So my Instagram is probably my most up to date in terms of our recent weddings that we've done. That's the Wedding Touch UK. I've also got my website that you can look at, which is www.theweddingtouch.co.uk. And in terms of, if you would like to, either you can give me a call, the details are again, website and my Instagram, or email me, and that's usually the best place to start. And then I'll get in touch with you. We'll book a consultation, and we'll take it from there.
Perfect. It's been such a pleasure catching up with you. Would you like to add anything at all before I let you go?
No, I think I'm okay. It's been honestly so lovely to be able to connect with you. Thank you so much for doing this.
No, and you. Thank you so much for coming on, and we will definitely stay in touch. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.